That is a lot of toys, everybody. Holy crap. Let's take a look at some of the figures that are going to be available for this giveaway. We have Ram Man Deluxe from the Master Universe Origins figures. We have Hordak, Ahsoka Tano, and Grogu. Black Series, 501st Legion's Clone Trooper, Game of Thrones Mega Constructs, Battle Beyond the Wall, Wonder Woman Farland designed version. We have Rhinox, this is from the Kingdom, War for Cybertron, Aang, Omega Sentinel, Weapon X, Shadowcat from the Age of Apocalypse series. We've got these crazy Figma figures. We have Reaper, and we have Widowmaker, Antok Merrick from the Black series, Imperial Stormtrooper, the Return of the Jedi Skiff, prototype version of Boba Fett's armor. This is amazing. We've got the Book of Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Clone Wars, ARC Trooper Echo, retro style packaging, George Lucas, Stormtrooper armor, a chance to win Battlecat as well. Then as promised, if we reach 16,000 subscribers, I will unlock all of these guys. We have Zodak here. We've got Lady Slither, the Horde Trooper, Roboto, and Triclops. Amazing. And then, guys, if we happen to reach 16,500 subscribers, we're going to add these figures into the giveaway as well. Camo Khan, Grizzlor, and of course, Wondar. That's right, guys. If we reach 17,000 subscribers by the time the giveaway happens, the Emperor's Throne Room from the Vintage Collection will also unlock, as well as Mafex Psylocke. And you know what? Just for good measure, if we happen to reach a crazy number, and I do mean a crazy number, of 18,000 subscribers, I will be giving away a choice of Serpentor or Mindbender. And if something crazy happens and we actually reach 20,000 subscribers, guys, I will go ahead and give away all three of these guys to one lucky subscriber. Serpentor, Dr. Mindbender, and Master of Disguise Zartan. That's right, everybody. This is crazy. And this is my way of paying it forward to all you guys who have helped me to reach this major milestone. Thank you so much for all the support over the years. You guys are amazing. Gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot the special one-time giveaway of the Ramen Toy Machina Gullwing Special Edition. This is a translucent, one-of-a-kind Gullwing, which will be released only once for the Mega J Retro channel, and this one is transparent. It's very, very cool, and we'll be discussing those during additional live streams. But guys, this will be the one and only chance to get this, so don't forget, you have a chance to get the Machina Gullwing from Ramen Toy during the Mega J Retro 2024 giveaway. There are a couple of rules, guys, and we are going to go through them right now. Number one, you do have to be subscribed to the Mega J Retro channel or the MJR Collector channel. That will give you your ballot to enter. And number two, you do have to like the video and, of course, leave a comment in the description. Remember, guys, you have to like this particular video, 15,000 sub giveaway. Just head down, add a comment with hashtag MJR Collector Giveaway 2024. Let's go. And this will give you one ballot to enter into the giveaway on January 20th, 2024. That's right, guys. That is the hashtag. That is the only way you could be eligible to get in on all of the available giveaways. That's a huge, huge detail, guys. Don't forget to do that. And finally, number three, share this video with as many people as possible, giving them the chance to be able to get in on this incredible video. Guys, this is in celebration of reaching 15,000 subscribers here on the Mega J Retro channel and 7,000 subscribers on the MGR Collector channel. The draw for the giveaway will be held on January 20th, 2024 by the Wheel of Elimination. This will be held during my live stream at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Full rules and details will be in the description below and a list of all the prizes that are available. I'm going to have the to put this too much, but definitely Patreon and channel members will be able to walk away with these. It's a separate draw from my giveaway, but this is in thanks to this community who's been so great. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreon and channel member supporters. Thank you so much, everybody. It's thanks to your support that this channel continues to grow, and I really could not have done this without you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It really means a lot and really helps the channel to keep growing. Hey guys, Jay, welcome back to the channel. Guys, that was, of course, the details on the giveaway, which is happening on January 20th of this month. Do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This is in thanks for reaching 15,000 subscribers here on the Mega Juggy Retro on the Mega Juggy Retro channel, and 7,000 subscribers over on MGR Collector. It's thanks to you guys this has happened. If it wasn't for you guys, we would not have been able to reach this major milestone. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, everybody. And of course, I did want to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting this channel, to all my Patreon and channel member supporters. You guys are the best. And of course, all of you guys, the patrons and channel member servers, get an extra ballot for supporting the channel. Thank you guys so much. It really has been amazing. Guys, today is just absolutely incredible. It really is one of those special days. The year has started off great, and it's about to get even better. As you know, many of you guys already have been well aware that the Masters of the Universe Revolution is about to. We're on the precipice of of this amazing moment, and honestly, oh my god, I'm just beside myself. I wanted to take a deep dive into this and start actually finally talking about this, because everybody and their mother has been saying, when are you going to talk about this thing, Jay? Like, you know, you're always the first one to talk about revolutions, and now you've been silent this whole time. What's going on? When are you going to talk about it? Well, tonight is the night, but I can't do this alone. I have some very good friends who can help me out with this because it's huge. It's a massive thing. So please help me welcome, and I have to do this right, everybody. I always do.
And before we go live, smash that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a beat.
Guys, help me welcome Michael from Toy Habits. What's going on, Michael? How are you tonight?
What is up, Jay? I'm doing amazing. Happy New Year, and congrats on the 15K subs.
Oh, thank you, my friend. And you know what? It's crazy. We're very close to 16,000 subscribers right now.
Crazy.
So it's absolutely nuts. And because of that, we are going to be able to unlock Lady Slither, Zodak, Roboto, and Triclops, as well as the Horde Trooper. So amazing. And if we get 16,500 subscribers by the time the draw happens, we're going to be releasing even more Master Universe figures, including Camocon, Grizzlor, and Wondar. This is going to be absolutely crazy. How has your new year been, Michael? Oh my gosh, been absolutely crazy.
Yeah, New Year has been great. You know, we're just continuing to look and dig up dirt everywhere we can. Part of it, digging up dirt on a revolution. Yes, thank you, Jay.
Absolutely. Guys, if you haven't already, definitely give Toy Habits a follow on their toyhabits.com as well as their YouTube page. They're always on the ball when it comes to brand new breaking news. Literally, Michael, as soon as something hits right now, he's going to be like typing away, making a new article while we're having discussion. It's going to be amazing.
Actually, that's where the Toy Sorceress is at the moment. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to my partner in crime. She's on assignment covering some Ghostbusters stuff that she dug up today. She found the links to the latest assortment of Kenner Classics Ghostbuster figures, which are in-store Target exclusive. So people can use the information to call ahead if they want and see if they got them in store. So she's amazing.
That is amazing. She is amazing. And we wish she could be here tonight, but obviously she has a lot to do on her plate. Her new Castle Grayskull is coming along nicely.
Yeah, it is.
Her new Eternia, if you will.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But you know what? This is such huge news, Michael. So I don't think you and I can contain this by ourselves either. So I've invited some good friends to join us tonight. Guys, please help us welcome one of the masters of one of the masters of the universe on the internet. Please help us welcome Adam from Battle Ramp Blog. What's going on, Adam? How are you tonight?
I'm good. How you doing, Jay?
Not too bad, bro. Not too bad. Finally got
hey,
you,
Michael.
Hey.
Yeah. I know you. I was gonna come in a couple months ago, but I was like deathly.
Yeah, you were deathly
sick.
Glad you're feeling better now, I hope. And happy New Year to you, my friend. Like
happy New Year.
How has everything been, right?
Good. Yeah, I took some time off. Didn't go anywhere. It's just like one of those vacations where you just stay around the house.
The staycation is a good thing, staycation.
Yeah.
Don't spend
That's the way to do it.
Don't spend any unnecessary funds. That you have to save up for toys. That's
that's right. All the spare cash right to the toys.
Just flying out the door. It's ridiculous. And it's been one crazy week for who would have thought, at the beginning of the year, January, that we would have gotten so much toy news. I mean, Super 7, whoa, what the heck?
Yeah.
And now, of course, Master Universe, Turtles of Grayskull, things are just going fast and furious this whole time. Adam, what are your thoughts about the new Turtles of Grayskull, action figure line?
Turtles of Grayskull, I look at them and some of them speak to me and some of them don't. Like a few of them are just like so kind of off the wall that I'm like, my brain doesn't instantly sort of connect them with either Turtles or Masters. But a few of them are really cool. I like the Moss Man. I like I don't know the Krang / Megator. Just the fact that they put Megator in there, he's such off the wall character choice for that. I'm really happy that they did that.
Absolutely, Michael. You obviously have reviewed a few of these already.
Yeah.
And, so your impressions obviously are on film, but just in case anybody doesn't know, what are your impressions of?
Yeah, I mean, after the PTSD wore off from getting a cease and desist from Mattel, I actually really love the line. Like I didn't expect to like this line, but it's actually, like Adam said, it's very kooky, it's very off the wall, and I'm having a good time just seeing what they're doing with the line. It's like it's interesting, like just to gravitate towards something that's just not super mainstream, but is kind of mashing those worlds together.
Exactly. It's one of those amazing little crossovers. There have been multiple ones throughout the years, but this one in particular, I think a lot of people have been looking forward to it, but it is going to be a hit and miss for some characters. I mean, and it's kind of funny because when you talk about Master Universe, off-the-wall characters are like what the brand is built on, right? So like the fact that there are a few little hiccups here and there, it's expected though, right?
Yeah.
I have one more special guest. Of course, he's been here multiple times. He's always a big supporter of the channel, and we love it when he's able to drop by. Guys, please help us welcome Ozdramandis Toys.
Oz.
There's going to be a long stream when Oz is in the house. We know that it's going to be a long stream. What's going on, Oz?
Oh, man. It's going good, brother. Going good. Had a heck of a weekend. Sunday kind of drained me. Get back into things now, though, midweek, because, gearing up for a huge weekend of toy tubing, as always. And with the news that came out today, the speculation that's flying around, a certain little poster we're all here to talk about. Man, can't wait to dive into this topic.
This is absolutely nuts. I mean, there have been the strategy has been a bit strange with this. There have been a lot of things which we're going to talk about tonight, and but I'm just excited. I'm just so excited. First of all, before we get too far into it, Oz, how has your New Year been? It's always been a big thing, New Year's Eve and everything like that. How was your New Year?
Well, I gotta say, it felt like something was missing this year. And I think that was you coming and stopping the stream right before New Year's this past year. It just felt a little lacking compared to last year. Last year was a big buildup because of that.
Oh my God! You know what? I was busy with the family, and I intentionally did not log on because I was with my family, but. It would have been hilarious if I'd done that again. That was just so. For those of you guys who don't know, I was on Oz's stream in 2022, and I was logging off early because I wanted to do the countdown with my family. And I went to log off, but instead of logging off, I am part of Oz's network, so I hit end stream instead of leave studio. So it killed the stream. And
3 minutes to midnight, he kills a New Year's stream.
That's hilarious.
3 minutes, and it was perfect.
So crazy.
Yeah.
It was. So
I actually want to. I should go back and edit the clip. Mega J Retro's final words live for 2022.
My final words live. I'm not dead yet.
Oh shiz!
It was crazy. It was absolutely. It was absolutely
hilarious. But Jay, we certainly missed that this year.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. No drama like that this year, but
no.
But yeah, so I heard it was a lot of fun. Andrew said that I should have been there. A lot of people are saying that I should have been there and done the thing. But yeah, no, it was just so much fun just to hang with you guys even the night before. You know what I mean? It was a lot of fun because I couldn't do it that day, right?
Totally understand.
So, lot to talk about today. Lots to talk about. January 25th, is that correct? I believe it is January
Yes.
25th. The countdown has, well, it began about 2 years ago, but this is fine. We're literally at the precipice of this amazing series. So I have my opinions on this, but before we get started, I wanted to get around the horn and ask everybody, what were your actual impressions of Master Universe Revelations? I guess we'll start with Adam, because this is your first time here. Adam, what were your first inclinations and impressions of Revelations?
Yeah, so well, first of all, I watched the first episode with my family, and they were like, I think they were humoring me. So we watched it all together, and then I just kind of binged like the rest of the first half that was left. I enjoyed most of it. A lot of people, it's very polarizing, as you know. Some people hate it, some people love it. For me, it's like I would rate it, probably my favorite cartoon, just in terms of story and pacing and acting, is the 2000X cartoon, or the 2002 Mike Productions cartoon. I would say this has, in some ways, it's probably better animation, but in terms of some of the writing, the dialogue at times was a little grating to me, just because some of the cheesy, kind of jokes that I think it was aimed at kind of poking fun at the original Filmation. But overall, I enjoyed the story. I never once thought they were actually killing off He-Man. That's not that was never going to be permanent. So probably for me, it was kind of like a B to the Mike Productions A. Just a few niggles with the writing, but overall I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to what they do with Revolution. Oh, did we lose Jay?
Oz, can you take over for a quick second? I got a call.
Yeah, I got you. All right, Michael, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, so I think after I got over the shock of the first part of Revelation, I just kind of took it for what it was worth and enjoyed the series. I actually watched it multiple times, and like from a lore and story point of view, like they could take it in any direction and I would probably still be a fan of it, just because I want more like MOTU animated series and just bringing on more in that respect. And so I loved when they were going to make Revolution, because it's just more MOTU and just more story to get behind and something to watch. So I was a fan. Actually like part 2 a heck of a lot better than part 1. So yeah, I can't wait to see what happens in Revolution on the 25th.
Absolutely. I mean, since I'm next up, with Revelations, a lot of us didn't really know quite how to take. And you can look back on what was said about prior to its announcement, how Kevin Smith was amping it up as kind of a sequel to what we all remember from the Filmation series. It didn't exactly feel like that when it came out, not exactly a sequel to that. It definitely felt like a continuation of a story that maybe we all didn't see, because it kind of drops us in at this later age where clearly this battle's been raging for a while. But if you can separate yourself from what was initially said of it, it is a really solid story. You may not like everything about it, but there's one key factor here. It continues to breathe new life into Masters of the Universe. My buddy Corey, who was not a big Masters of the Universe fan when the original cartoon was on, not even when the 2000X series came into play, he really, really got hyped up about Revelations when he found out that Kevin Smith was helming, because he's a huge Kevin Smith fan. He knows I absolutely love He-Man. So we actually sat down and watched this together, and he loved every bit of it. So anytime you can take a new version of the media and bring new fans and draw new attention to it, it breathes life back into the franchise, which is something that we've kind of desperately needed and really want to see more of, because the more new life that gets breathed into it, the longer it continues, right? And we're all big Masters of the Universe fans. We want to see Masters of the Universe be heralded well into another 40 years from now, when we're all getting into our 80s, 90s, whatever you want to say. So it's important that we have these. And Revelation may not have been what everybody wanted, but it helped keep that dream alive. And I got to say, so far, I haven't heard any of the bad talk leading up to Revelation about Revolution. Everybody just seems hyped and excited to see what's going to happen in Revolution. And that's what I can't wait for. I am really, really excited.
I'm back. So small call that I had to take. Sorry about that, guys.
No.
But honestly, I love the obviously we're all just sharing our own takes on this. I agree with all of you guys. I think that there's no such thing as a perfect series. You know what I mean? We grew up with Master Universe as a children's cartoon, and you know what? Watching children's cartoons like Thundercats, I have a hard time watching Thundercats. I really do. I love Thundercats, but you know what? After the Exodus, after a few of the episodes, it gets really, really hard to watch. Surprisingly, I actually really still enjoy watching Master Universe. The wholesomeness of it all, some of the values that are instilled in the series, and yes, the PSAs at the end, the requirements by the American, what's it called, Children's Network or whatever the heck it was. Those were small things that needed to be adhered to, right? But there's just something so magical about He-Man that still works today. Not for everything. When you get to the later episodes, it really starts to drag on. How many monsters of the week can you actually defeat, right? I mean, it is what it is. But every time I was looking back to that, I was like, you know what? I really like the series. Watching Revelations, I think the mistake that they made, truthfully, is that they said this is a direct continuation of Master Universe from Filmation, and I was like, that's a pair of big shoes you gotta fit into. Like that's crazy. And the problem that I saw, and you know what, I'm going to share this again with everybody who doesn't know me, who hasn't heard me talk about this. If you're going to have Kevin Smith as a director, expect a lot of toilet humor, expect a lot of reefer humor. Expect a lot of stuff that's going to be like dad type of jokes. Like those are the types of things that you're going to find, in his type of humor. But the actual root story was pretty damn good. I believe so. You know what I mean? The tale that they decided to tell was amazing. My take on this is that a few people, a few vloggers, a few bloggers, a few people got into a tussle with Kevin Smith, and they made it their mission to try and take him down. And unfortunately, that left a few fans in the outskirts saying, I don't want to watch this because everyone's saying it's crap. And you know what? That's a shame. That is a disservice. You should, before you judge something, you should watch it, right? At least give it I have a 3-episode rule. If I can't get past the 3rd episode, I'm not going to finish the series. That's the way it is, right? And that's what I think everyone should do. Everyone should at least take a look at the first 3 episodes. And spoiler alert, He-Man doesn't die. Duh. You know what I mean? Like, well, actually, you know what?
He died.
I'm gonna let you guys discover that for yourselves. Exactly, he did die. But if you're watching this stream, you probably already know that. But you know what? I really enjoyed the series for what it was. Is it a furthering of the mythos? Sort of. Is it canonical? For some people, it's going to be a resounding yes. For some people, it's going to be an unfortunate yes. Right? That's just the way this is. But can we look forward to the next episodes? I think we can, because there's a lot to look forward to. There's hello.
It's my daughter, y'all.
How's it going? Good to see you. and there's a lot to enjoy as well, because again, we know already the evil horde is coming, and you know what? Before we get too far into it, there's a lot of great stuff on the way, and let's start breaking this down, everybody. So let's have so first off, because I've been purposely trying to not watch or look at or do whatever, but I do want to ask the panel here, how much of the spoilers or leaks or whatever the heck it is have you guys seen? Adam, how about yourself?
I've not. Like kind of like you. I've kind of purposely avoided getting into deep with the spoilers or speculation. I did see the video, the sort of the teaser video that was released a little bit ago, and I only watched that through once. I don't know. I prefer to go in a little, without
Sure.
going a little more fresh.
Absolutely, I'm much the same way. Michael, what's been your experience for this round of teasers?
Yeah, I think beyond just watching the teasers and just trying to dissect what's in it and kind of how it might represent itself in the show, I think we had a theory on a certain famous person's voice acting and the role that they might play, just based on some leaks that we saw on the internet. So I don't know if you're aware of that stuff, and I don't want to spoil anything.
Well, this is the night to speculate. This is the night to share. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about everything. Why not? Let's talk about the whole 9 yards. Tomorrow we're going to find out a heck of a lot more.
That's true.
So let's just dive right in tonight and see how incorrect we are tomorrow. Right? Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the best way of doing it. Oz, have you spoiled yourself, or have you just abstained like me and Adam?
I've pretty much tried to abstain the best I can, although it is tough. It is tough because anytime something new like this is coming, you just kind of want to know more. You want to crave knowledge.
True.
But I don't want to spoil anything.
And unfortunately, we are at least going to take a look at the trailer right now, just to give us a little bit of a heads up, right? Because again, trailers are trailers. And then I'm going to give the option to everybody here if they want to see the 2 minutes that was available at one point. So first things first, though, let's go ahead and experience together, once again, guys, the first trailer that dropped earlier this year. So let's have a look. Because I let Jason David Frank Memorial go on for too long, and they literally cut it right off, and we're like, dang.
Wow.
So I wanted to just say a few things while we're going through. Let's dissect this a little bit here, because there's a lot to take in, guys. First of all, I'm curious about this. Are they going to take anything from the Secret of the Sword? Because the Secret of the Sword really is, essential to how the Horde is intertwined with Eternia, right? If it wasn't for that storyline, we would not have any inclination of Hordak, right? So, what are your guys' thoughts? Is there some? I'm not talking about whether or not she was going to show up at the end of the show. That's not what I'm asking. I'm just asking, what do you guys think? Is there any sort of tie-in with the Secret of the Sword at all? Who wants to go first? Nobody wants to go first. Oz, you go first.
All right, I'll go first with this one. So, I mean, of course, like you said, Jay, like Secret of the Sword is kind of like our basis in animation, at least, of where the Horde comes in and how things are done. Like that's the one that kind of introduced a little bit about Skeletor being the pupil of Hordak, right? Like that's where we start to learn about that relationship, which we clearly see in Revelation that relationship existed, right? In the flashbacks with Evelyn, Skeletor shows up in like the red and black with the Horde logos on, saves her, takes her under his wing. I'm really excited to see if we get some more of that story with this. And hopefully maybe that's what we see a little bit here. Like, they're really showing how vast the Horde truly is with all of these ships and their entire presence here, clearly conquering another world. That's got me really excited because honestly, the Horde always felt a little bit lacking You know, I gotta say, I just never really felt as cool as the toys were. I never felt the fear from the Horde that I really wish I had. You
Gotcha,
know,
gotcha.
that I felt like I needed. 2000X kind of gave us a hint of that, and then it never got to flesh out that story at all, which is, I think, a travesty. But I'm really excited to see what we get.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's a great point. Like maybe this is where that Horde story gets evolved from, where it got kind of cut short in the 2000X series.
Right?
It's
Mhm.
funny, this huge fleet reminds me of the end scenes from Star Wars The Last
Yes.
Jedi, where you
Yes.
see Emperor
Yes.
Palpatine
Yes.
raising his fleet of Star Destroyers, and
Yeah.
that kind of gave me those vibes. But man, yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. It's we need to have that evolution and story of the Horde,
Yeah.
because it was like a small band of little misfits who got a little tiny playset in the toy line too.
Right? It's just
They're just getting the backseat everywhere.
they never felt imposing, you know, with the
Yeah.
rest.
Yeah, and the actual fright zone was a bit. It was more Halloweenish than it was an actual playset,
Right.
in my opinion. But still, I did enjoy it as a kid. Adam,
Oh,
what are
yeah.
your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's I would compare it to the Michael Young productions in that it's clearly a darker, more serious Horde. You know, you're not going to have Mantana slipping on a banana peel in this one, clearly. But it's also more classic from that She-Ra, just in the sense that they clearly have this massive amount of technology. In the 2002 show, it seemed more like it was more magical, like they had all those wraiths, and Hordak seemed to be using magic against King Grayskull. There were some Horde troopers, but I didn't see a lot of vehicles in that shot that they were in. And this one's clearly an empire. They've got all these huge, imposing ships.
Yeah, I'm curious to find out if we'll actually get a chance to see Horde Prime. You know, if he's actually going to end up giving a cameo or something along those lines, because the way Hordak is speaking, you know, it's pretty much evident that he is the one who is the conqueror, right? It's kind of and we can see here. This is an interesting little tidbit here. We can see Preternia here, right?
Yeah.
Right. This is crazy. We actually see Preternia here. We see you know, King Grayskull, or yeah, I believe that is King Grayskull. We see you know, the snake. I believe is that the sorceress? Is that a blue skin sorceress? Like that's
No.
that. Yeah. What is that? Who is that?
And Adam, you probably know
let's see.
more of the backstory on this one, but it's a character called Saren from the DC comics.
Yeah,
Well,
I
she
know
has-
Yuka figured that out, but I kind of forgot.
She has the same blue. If it's a he or she, they have the same blue skin as Geldor. So you know, that's an interesting little tidbit there. But obviously, they're going to war against the great power, right? And we do see Titus there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know, there's a lot more going on here, and a lot more world building as things progress. And if we right there, we do see something very interesting. Cora, she is Skeletor's mom in the thank you, Cora.
right.
Thank you. There we go. So that would make sense why she has blue skin, right? And we can see an invading army coming to take over Eternia, right? So perhaps that's what this is. It was a prophecy that, you know, the Horde was here once. And is that Horde Prime? It looks like his helmet from Classics. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah.
Isn't that
maybe
Horde Prime helmet from Classics?
It looks kind of like it for sure. At least there are similar notes to it for sure.
And is that what's it called, the vehicle, the vehicle which rotates around? I can't remember what it was called again. It had the two claws. What is it called? It's a MOTU vehicle. It was a Master Universe vehicle. What was it called again? Adam, help me out here.
like
Balls?
with two claws. Like
Yeah,
from which series? Like
from the original MOTU toys. It basically
Monstroid, yeah.
Monstroid,
The spinning yeah.
Monstroid. Yeah. I'm wondering if that's Monstroid.
Oh, man.
Again, just throwing things out there. Right?
Yeah.
Cora is on top of it.
Yeah,
she
she
is
is.
on top of this.
Cora's great.
I think this is the exact scene that Michael's talking about. This literally looks like episode 9,
8
right?
there.
I think it was 9.
Yeah.
And yeah, that looks like, because this one reminds me of the Battle of Coruscant, and then
Mhm.
this one
Right.
reminds me of Episode 9, right, where all those Star Destroyers just are like, because they all look the same, right? So
Yeah.
that's crazy. And then of course we have a very stormtrooper like march here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the new horde troopers, guys? What are your thoughts on first impressions?
Um, I I really like them. It's kind of a nod to the kind of the 2000X or Mike Young sketches
Mhm.
from that time period, and from some anonymous source that we got, we are getting a deluxe horde trooper in the next Masterverse wave, and so I'm guessing now, like just putting 2 and 2 together, it's probably
This design.
just a meatier, beefier version of the horde troopers. Yeah, I like them because there's really not much you can do with kind of changing up their design, so I kind of like the way that they did this here.
Mhm. Also,
I think they kind of look almost like a mix between the hoverbots and horde troopers, with like that kind of angular shape to them, the more sunken down looking head. But either way, they look really cool. I don't know how tactical that would be in a fight, because I could just see He-Man pounding these back like a 6-pack of Bush Light or something. I don't know. Like, it doesn't look like it'd take much for him to just like kick one and watch the entire army fall down like dominoes behind it. But
that was the beauty of the horde troopers. They did that, and the skeleton, the Skeletor bots, right? They did that kind of thing. It was a lot of fun that way.
it was good.
And you know what? With Kevin Smith at the helm, that stuff is still possible. You know what I mean? So,
Oh, I'm hoping we get some of that cheesiness. Come on.
Adam,
You need some.
I would just add, it almost looks like they're not robots, but they're wearing
True.
an organic being, wearing a suit of armor. Just looking at the arms, it looks like they've got a black undersuit and then they're wearing armor on top of that.
Mhm.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Right.
my initial take on these is that they're like, I don't know why, but I keep thinking of Kamikaze Run. They look like mortar shells or bombs that they basically
Yeah.
on a moment's command, they literally like go run into that guy and boom, you know what I mean?
Right.
That kind of ridiculousness. But I'm curious to find out if maybe the shoulders retract and you can actually see more of their head. And I'm wondering if that would be a feature in the toy as well, because it looks like with that separation at the very bottom of the shoulders, it looks like maybe it can retract a little bit. I don't know. Again, I'm just spitballing here. So, but still, love the overall look on these guys. Yeah, and Michael said it best. What more can you do with the horde troopers other than completely redesign them? If Bobby wants to come on, Oz, you can send him the link if you're interested.
Sure. I'll see if he's available.
So this one, of course, is probably the most shocking portion of the reveal. The fact this is Darksmoke.
Yep.
This is obviously Darksmoke, and the sorceress has come to ask the dragons for aid. And you know what? I want to ask the panel. When I was watching the Master Universe movie, I noticed that I don't have the clips here, but we're still full of dragon heraldry. So I'm curious, during the production of that, what everyone thought, because my feeling has always been that the Dragons of Darksmoke helped to build Castle Grayskull, once upon a time. Now, of course, that's not canonical to, the actual backstory, but I always like thinking about things like that because, again, why would there be so much dragon heraldry inside of Castle Grayskull? But thoughts, guys. What are your thoughts about this scene as well as, I guess, what I said?
I mean, I really want to see more of the interiors, right? Like, we were able to see a decent bit and a good chunk in Revelation, but I think there's still so much more to be seen within Castle Grayskull, right? Like, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface. So I'm hoping we get to see a little bit more of that, because I imagine Grayskull kind of like this place of wonder where there are libraries full of eons of knowledge, not just, I mean, we saw that they were able to unlock the power of Grayskull and be able to see into it. You know, you saw a lot of that with Evelyn and Skeletor in Revelation, but I feel like there's still so much more there to explore, and I really hope we get to see some of that.
Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I like this scene and just the inclusion of Darksmoke because it's a nod to the Dragon's Gift episode in the original cartoon where you had He-Man and Teela busted open those that gate basically. So
Right.
yeah, I mean, I'm also want to see more of Granomir, if that is Granomir or that, you know, the huge dragon that is in the trailer too. So I hope that we'll not only see him on film, but he also makes it in plastic form too.
Oh, I'm just dying for that. Adam, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I like that. Assuming that's kind of, I assume that, you know, if they're going to the dragons for help, then they're at their last resort. You know, everything's fallen apart. Which I think that's a good way to take it. As far as the dragons create or helping to build or create Grayskull, that's something I never thought of. It makes sense. I mean, Granomir is ancient; he's magical. I would accept that as one origin. For me, I kind of like to think, you know, with Grayskull, you don't want to know the origins too much. You want it to be kind of mysterious.
Yeah, and we did find out a bit more in Revelation about Grayskull than I think any of us really expected. Right, the fact that it actually sort of mixing the two 2000X and Filmation together. Right, the fact that it is the housing of knowledge, right, of all Eternia. Right, so it is an interesting parallel. Now, knowing that though, does the illusion come back, right? Because there's something in the poster which we're going to get to in a second, which kind of leads to so many other questions, right? Now here's the other thing: why is He-Man in his battle armor? I mean, like, the way I've always looked at battle armor He-Man is it was a toy. I never actually expected him to don the actual battle armor in battle. You know, because again, what does He-Man need with battle armor? He's never needed it before. At least exactly. At least with the snake armor He-Man, it made sense. The He-Man is weak against the venom of the Snake Man, right? So it made sense that he would need some sort of protective gear. But the battle armor, I don't know. It just seems a little bit like, why does Superman need armor? You know what I mean? Like, what happens there? Thoughts, everybody.
Well, clearly it's just to sell more toys.
Right.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've kind of been patiently waiting to see an animated version of Battle Armor He-Man, right? So when I was a little kid, my original He-Man, I don't know what happened to his sword, his armor, everything. He was a naked barbarian looking dude because I lost most of that stuff with my first one. I didn't get the original version a second time when I finally got another He-Man. I got Battle Armor He-Man, and he became my main He-Man after that, right?
Yeah, make no mistake. Battle Armor He-Man was my absolute favorite, but because because he had that action feature, it just like it was just so cool. It was like bang! I hit that thing more often.
I broke mine. You know, that barrel, that spring definitely broke. Thank you, Toy Polloi, for teaching me how to fix it 30 years after the fact. But
so crazy, crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, me too, Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited too, and yeah, I mean, it is definitely to sell more toys, and yes, I fell hook, line, and sinker for it, of course. But maybe it provides an extra layer of protection. So you know, there's like loin armor that protects the jewels. This could be just battle armor, just to make them last a little longer.
I noticed in this clip he actually is donning the armor here, because if you look carefully, it's kind of like a spider clamping onto his back, right? And that's so this is actually the scene where he probably starts without the armor, and then all of a sudden he has a need for it. It's weird, but
good call, Jay. That's pretty wicked. I didn't notice that before.
I like that because it's like He-Man can't be like, excuse me while I change into my battle armor. So it has to be active. It's like it looks like it's part part of his armor too that
That's
he
so
can
great.
activate, and it wraps around him like a
Yeah,
a
like an
nice glove.
Iron Man suit or something.
Yeah, that's true.
I dig it. Or kind of again like that 2000X where the sword could adapt to the situation, and He-Man would kind of gain like new abilities, sort of thing. I mean, let's face it. I always liked the idea that Men at Arms designed the battle armor for He-Man, kind of thing. That was always cool, right? But I also really liked the idea that, and again, thinking even from a toy standpoint, the way they approached it in that Mike Young Productions line, where, okay, a new evil has arisen, the sword adapts and changes in a way and unlocks even greater powers that it bestows upon He-Man to rise to the new challenge. It's a great way to reinvent the character every time you need a third, fourth, 27th version of He-Man to sell to the toy market, because we all know how well that works.
It worked for me. I mean,
it works every time. I keep buying He-Man.
And I really loved Battle Armor Skeletor. Adam.
Yeah, I assume it's probably maybe Tila as sorceress helped him unlock like a new ability. Maybe something to do with the lava terrain that he's in, just some extra protection that he can bring out. I love that he's got his classic battle axe in this scene too. Which normally he's all about the sword. So two things that you rarely, or actually never see in animation is battle armor and the battle axe. You didn't even see it in the original mini comics. I mean, the axe you saw, but never the battle armor. It was all over the box art, so it's nice to see this look getting some love.
But I wonder if that's a clue. I wonder if there's a reason why he doesn't have his sword, because you're right.
Yeah.
He actually does not have his sword at all. We can see the battle axe clearly, but even here in this scene, it's not even on Battlecat. It's nowhere to be seen. So interesting, very interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
Chef M80 is bringing up a point that the packaging says that Andra created the battle armor for him.
Spoilers! No, just kidding.
Well, again, it's on the toy package. That's a little less spoiler for the show. I mean, if it's already out there by the package.
But by that notion, it's not untrue then. According to canon, Man at Arms built the armor, and Andra is the current Man at Arms. Or according to Tila in the movie, Woman at Arms, which I appreciate that. I that joke was always so key. Was so key for me when I was a kid. I was like, yeah, I was freaking out when I saw that one.
I agree. I think it was a good call.
Absolutely. Here we have the new sorceress, calling upon her mystical powers. But this is an interesting scene. Okay, we're gonna move forward. Wow, what happened? Is that Trapjaw? Okay, a lot of spoilers going on here. Not like, well, I don't even want to speculate on this. It looks like Trapjaw. It looks like something completely different. I don't know.
That's the Horde right there. Definitely the whole Horde combined into crazy, weird eyeballs.
Like
I was also thinking Resident Evil as well, like some sort of Resident Evil thing. You know what? It's too much to speculate on this one for just one scene. I don't think we're going to get much out of that. But that is crazy. But again, yeah, you're right. The techno cult, right? I think that's what they've established, because we still see here one of the head priests of the techno cult, Whiplash, right? And He-Man's just like, whatever. Typical He-Man. I love that. Typical He-Man. It really does remind you of the Filmation. Whenever he would just like catch something and say, "Oh, you dropped something," and just like throw it back. Just a wonderful nod to the original. And here, okay, so here is this and this is the thing. I think that's Adam. What does everybody think?
Oh, most definitely.
That is definitely Adam. Yeah. He's got those soft eyes. And he's not tan enough to be He-Man.
the yellow hair too, right?
Yeah. He-Man's got the what's it called? He-Man's got the fake and bake going on all the time. It's crazy.
Right.
It looks like Tila's really gotten a hold of her powers. You know what I mean? It a lot of things seem to be happening with Preternia and Subternia. Right, things are really starting to move forward with this series, and there we do see He-Man with his armor, so something is going on, right? So there is
the sword.
Yeah, I love that. Like that roundhouse kick. That's just crazy. And then of course we have I really want to find out what's going on here. What are your impressions, guys, about Techno-Skeletor? Nobody,
All
right?
right.
I've got.
I mean, there's
Let's
a
move on.
precedence. There's a precedence, right? We know Laser Light Skeletor, who that kind of design eventually became like what we saw more of with the New Adventures Skeletor, and that was always just weird and creepy because they gave him eyeballs and you kind of got an eyeball here. Like, okay, so we've seen Skeletor mesh with technology before. It's not necessarily new. They're doing it in a different way. I'm just glad they didn't put hair on this one, because that almost be a deal breaker.
I hear you. I hear you. Adam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was when they ended up, and at the end of the revelation, when he was, it was apparent he was going to be captured and transformed by the techno cult. I was crossing my fingers. I really hoped that they would make him Laser Light Skeletor. I'm
Ooh.
slightly obsessed with that figure, but they didn't. I mean, there's a few kind of subtle nods to it. I'm not a huge fan. Like, just looking at the toy that they made for this, I'm not a huge fan of the design they came up with. I wish they had gone to Laser Light or one of the New Adventures designs, or at least made it more influenced by those. Um,
Right.
but yeah, not my favorite redesign for him.
And Michael.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks creepy. I think they did a good job just meshing the techno cult with what we think Skeletor would look like as a techno cult member. I do like the getup that he has. So
Right.
I'm a
kinda
fan.
like the whole-
I can't remember if I bought this toy or not. So
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You did.
Yeah.
Stop trying to hide it.
And it's interesting, the timing of this. I mean, like, AI is becoming so prevalent in our society right now. So many things are moving forward, and like, technology. So really interesting how they decided to move forward with this. There's Darksmoke as again,
Right.
and we see the. I'm not sure if these are wyverns or if these are possessed dragons, but they look more evil than they do good, or stationary, or
I
whatever.
know what they are because I've seen some other footage, but again, I don't know if it's like too much of a spoiler, but I think the shadow beasts can convert into those. Beings.
That's
Ooh.
cool.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Okay.
And technically, we did see these creatures in the final battle scenes,
Mhm.
because they attacked.
Yeah.
Grayskull.
There's a lot of them.
So obviously, these actually, this might be the portal to Subternia. Thinking about it now, that might.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
The Crystal Sea? I
Yeah.
agree.
yeah, that might not be Darksmoke. That actually might be the again. We're just sort of extrapolating from the little tidbits they give us. Obviously, Eternos is under attack. Obviously. And then, of course, we see this, which has gotten everybody excited.
Yeah.
This is just ridiculous. I mean, what are we witnessing here? Is that Grandemir? Is it something like? I think it can only be Grandemir. I mean, like,
I think it must
Right.
be.
as far as I know, he's the only red dragon in the world right now, right? Like, I don't remember ever seeing any other red dragons. So
I have a theory about this scene that I just thought up in my head, but I want to circle back to it after we see the poster.
Right.
yep.
I was going to say, Michael, I think I know where you're going with that.
All right.
Adam, any quick thoughts?
No, I'm I would 99.9% sure that's got to be Grandemir. I love that they're bringing him into it. He's a great character.
Oh God, you know what?
Some of the best
Right.
episodes had him in relation.
He needs to have that absolute disdain for humanity. I love that. And I love the idea that he's lived so long. He's basically like, you're all children to me, and I just love the arrogance. I love the he won't be Grandemir without that. If he doesn't end up being some sort of, and you know what, a lot of people are talking about this, and we're going to talk about the voice actors, but he has to actually have a greater than thou presence, and who better to vote? Anyway, we're going to get to that in a minute. And then, of course, we do have the techno cult continuing its ways with the Horde here, as well as, and I'm so happy that Meg Foster was chosen for Motherboard. I was thrilled when we heard about it.
Couldn't be more perfect.
Oh my gosh, just crazy. What about you guys, Michael, Adam?
Yeah, I love to see like just characters from the lore, who played roles in the past, like resurfacing again. So, that kind of made me think of the with all the AI stuff, like Terminator's also rebooting too. So it's like
Yeah,
it's all coming back to AI and
absolutely.
technology. But no, I'm happy that Meg Foster is part of this. She was part of a fantastic movie that some people love, some people hate back in the day.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I just echo that. I love that they bring back old actors as voice actors. I love that they brought Alan Oppenheimer in as Mossman last time. So more of that, the better.
Absolutely. And I don't think there's any other real big surprises here. Obviously, we have a few really great battle scenes. But okay, we'll talk about this guy as well because he's featured prominently on the poster as well. And just, it's some great battle sequences that happen here. Coming January 2024, we do know now that actually means that it will be January 25th, 2024. That's an interesting little tongue twister there. And now let's get to the main feature here. Earlier today on Master of the Universe, all of their social medias, whether Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, we got this glorious poster with the caption "Feast your eyes on the new Masters of the Universe Revolution art created by the brilliant Nathan Burch." Masters of the Universe Revolution premieres January 25th only on Netflix. I am so happy that we got to see this. I mean, this is just beautiful. I'm really excited about this. Nate Burch, my God, being able to illustrate this. Let's take this all in, guys. What were your first thoughts when you first saw this? My mind was just blown. I was just absolutely. There's just so much here to take in. Oz, what are your thoughts on this one first?
I mean, first off, I was very happy to hear that Nate was doing this poster because he was known for a lot of his work that he did early on with, Masters Universe Revelations, and a lot of artwork from Masterverse as well as Origins. Um, and then, now the Four Horsemen kind of pulled him in. He works, for them now. He's like an official employee of theirs. And he did say he still had some projects left to do for Mattel. And I'm assuming this is one of those projects here since it was revealed that he's the one that did this. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. His artwork is always top notch and just so excited to see so many little things that they kind of point out here. I mean, again, we see more of that dragon that was in the trailer. We see this stunning white and gold armor here. We see the return of Evelyn in a less evilly looking fashion.
Yeah, what do we call her now? I guess we just call
Right?
her name.
Maybe
Goodland.
Evelyn.
Yeah,
Evelyn. Yeah,
you call
Evelyn.
her by her
Almost-
name, Evelyn Morgan Powers.
There you go. Oh
There
yeah.
you go. We see Andra's new look and embracing more of that role of man at arms. And then we see Green Goddess, who, if I remember correctly, was actually kind of a Nate Barch character, like based off of that one panel in the original mini comic. They never really called her the Green Goddess, they just called her the Goddess. And then it was him basically pouring love into it on He-Man.org that really fleshed out what the Green Goddess became. So seeing him finally be able to not just put her into a figure like we've seen, but actually get to put her into a official Masters of the Universe animation, like that's kind of like as mainstream as it goes right there, right? No matter what comes out in the toys, we always want to see it in an animation of some type. So him finally getting to put that to this must have been a huge moment for him. Seeing the return of Orko here, Orko the White, rather. He had his fight with the Balrog Scareglow, and he came back as Orko the White.
Correct.
And then we see our Techno-Skeletor here in the background, a little bit more of him, rocking the T-800 Terminator look. And, shouldered left and right by Hordak and Motherboard. But this top portion here, this, I think, really says a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to unpack here. Michael, your impressions?
Yeah, I mean, of course, my eye goes to like, ooh, what action figures are we going to get next in the Masterverse line? But no,
Naturally.
it's a beautiful presentation, and I love the nod to like it's like the classic rock burst. It's like the beginning of time, right? If you subscribe to the Big Bang Theory, it's just like everything is emanating from this power. And yeah, I love the top of it. And it's funny because I'd missed like the horde wings coming off of Castle Grayskull because I was looking for the figures. But man, that Castle Grayskull looks infected as heck. Like that just looks like you enter that place and you're gonna be doomed.
Yeah.
100%, exactly. Adam, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely the Green Goddess thing, because I remember back on He-Man.org, Nate was the biggest booster of Green Goddess. Like Pixel Dan has Mosquito, Nate has Green Goddess. Like she's his favorite from for years ago. But of all of the contemporary artists who do work for Mattel, Nate's my favorite. I love the atmosphere. If you look up at the top, even just beyond the figures and Castle Grayskull, just the lighting and the mood of this piece, that orange and red glow, which is you see that in a lot of his work. It's kind of harkens back to the original Castle Grayskull artwork, where that chasm beneath the castle had that same sort of thing. He's just got the best atmosphere in his artwork. So for me, the two biggest things, the atmosphere, or three biggest things: atmosphere, the Green Goddess, and that crazy horde Grayskull.
Absolutely. I'm so excited about this. Just like echoing what everybody here has said, this really does tie in the Master Universe with the exploding rocks. I mean, it really is, as you guys said, the Big Bang, right? Which is probably what was also thought up by a lot of the designers when they created the original backing cards for the Master Universe. Just this immense amount of power, and now we're transitioning from, as Adam said, this red sort of ominous type of feature, all of a sudden to this glorious blue, right, where it really does give that sort of hope that the heroes of Eternia have come to rally around the cause. And there are a lot of things to take in here. Like, we talked about the Green Goddess, but we also this mystery character here. Some people have said it's Man at Arms. I'm thinking that it's a new Roboto. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that are kind of at play here. And was this built by Andra, or was this built by Man at Arms? Right? Or is it Man at Arms in there? Or is it King Randor in there? There's a lot of questions going on with this particular character. We see a dragon, and we're going to call him a dragon, and he's fully armored up. Like, the scene we saw in the trailer, this is not that. This dragon is completely armored up, ready for battle. So does that mean he's ready to join the fight? Evelyn is here. We see He-Man with his battle armor, and of course, the Ascended Orko, as we said, Andra and the Green Goddess, and then we see the evil Trinity, right? Which is very interesting, right? It almost looks like a family. I don't know if everybody agrees with that, but literally they seem like an unholy family here, and it's like a diamond pattern here with a almost what's it called, a transformed Castle Grayskull with the Techno-Cult bleeding into it, right? Just crazy things to take in here. Yeah, I mean, like when I saw this, my jaw dropped. I didn't have the words. I had no words. Let's take this a little bit at a time. So we already talked a lot about the Green Goddess and her origins. Is that a tail?
At first, I thought maybe it was part of Cringer, but then, like just what I could see from my phone earlier today, which wasn't very large, it looked kind of like his tail, but then it was oddly placed. And then after looking at it a little bit more this afternoon, I realized it's kind of a flowing skirt and a snake tail.
Guys, what do you like? Oz is not wrong, but like, I don't know. The more I look at it, the more it looks like a tail. I don't know. That's just my take on it. Michael,
At first glance, I did think it was just a skirt, but I think you're right, Oz. I think there looks like there's a tail coming out of those hindquarters. So
Maybe she transforms into a snake. Like that's her.
Ah,
She has that ability.
maybe she's like Lady Slither then. Maybe she's
Yeah.
in mid transformation or coming out of
Maybe.
transformation. Interesting. And that leads to another question: is she part of the Snake Men to some sort of degree? Because again, the canon's being rewritten as we speak, right? So there's a lot of questions happening here. Now the other question: speculation time. The complete speculation. We're not even going anywhere with this. Granimir's or that dragon's hand was growing green. She's green. Is this the next evolution of the sorceress? Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was hinting at that I wanted to circle back to. So
All right.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I stole Michael's thunder.
no, it's all
No,
good.
it's
Like no,
exactly it.
there's no thunder to be stolen.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the Green Goddess and Tila's lore has evolved so much over the years, and I think that this would be a natural evolution of Tila being transformed into the goddess, because we've seen that evolution from like 1982 or 1983, starting with the comics.
Yep.
Right.
And I believe it was also hinted at even in Filmation, because she's always been, being groomed, kind of offhandedly, to be the next goddess, right? And it's interesting. It's sorceress, but then now we see maybe another evolution to an actual goddess, right? So that Adam, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be Tila. We don't see her otherwise, so it'd be weird to leave her out of this poster. And
she did get a poster of her own, though.
did she?
Yeah, she actually got her own
Okay.
standalone poster. Actually, let me just see if I can find it really quickly. But continue. I just want to find.
Yeah, and it's I mean, the goddess was she was originally called the sorceress in the first mini comic, but then she appears again, not green, just with the Tila colors, but she's called the goddess in the second wave comics. She's the Tila is the clone of the goddess, so like they are intertwined. It's very confusing. You can have somebody who has that snake headdress. It could be Tila, could be the goddess, depends on the story. But yeah, to me, it would make sense if this is like once Tila comes into her own as the sorceress, she doesn't keep the falcon costume. She has her own sort of appearance. Once she's kind of maybe past a certain level of her powers.
Yeah. I find it interesting too that the way she's posed here is not too dissimilar from the way she's posed there. You know what I mean? Again, there's a lot of parallels going on here, so it's interesting. Oz, did you have anything to add, or?
So one of the things that has always been most interesting to me, right? And again, a lot of this goes back to the toys being made and then story being developed later. So the original concept with the figure just going to be a 2-in-1 kind of thing, dressed down, it was Tila. Dressed up in all the armor, it was the goddess. The goddess's armor was always snake themed, right? And then later on, the Snake Men were a bad faction, right? With Snake Mountain and even when we get to 2000X, you've got the god Serpos and everything, which they even seem to kind of hint at, like this constant war between a good god Zor against an evil god Serpos in Revelation, right? When they did a lot of like those dream sequence or those kind of ethereal sequences, it was always like this falcon versus a snake. And the snake was always the sign of evil, right? So up until we just rewatched the trailer again a little bit ago, I didn't pick up on the whole Grenimir with the green hand. And I started thinking it around the same time Michael definitely was just thinking about it. But I was kind of thinking, where does she get this additional powers from to become this version of the goddess, right? Because we all know eventually what was the goddess became sorceress due to Filmation and their introduction of that character more so. And I mean, it was even in the comics before that a little bit more with the Falcon look, because then she was pink and not green or anything. And then we had the Filmation colors came later. But snakes have always been kind of evil. So where does these powers with this snake look kind of come from? Where is that origin story going to come? And I guess we get a little bit of that now, hopefully, with a bit of hinting and some clues we had from that scene.
Yeah, and we do know that from the lore, the Snake Man actually predates many of the characters as they are today, right?
Right.
And we do know that King Hiss, had some sort of deeper meaning to where they came from. And as a matter of fact, maybe there was a division somewhere, right? It's possible. Maybe there was a destiny that the snake people had inheriting, Eternia, but King Hiss made those plans disappear. There's a lot of things to take in here, right? So very, very interesting and super, super fun to elaborate on. And then we got this guy. Who is this guy, guys? Who is this? What are we looking at here? What are we looking at here?
All right. So Brick was bringing it up quite a bit earlier in a lot of chats, and it's true. He looks very much like Sir Laserlot, or can't remember what his name is exactly.
Extendar.
Extendar.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Well,
thinking.
there's
Extendar.
yeah, it definitely has those looks to it. Well, I had seen Dad at Arms called him Man o' War, and I was not familiar with that name at all, and I had to kind of go do some Googling and digging it. But apparently, the Image comics that went along with the 2000X Mike Young production, Man at Arms went by the moniker Man o' War later. And he had a more hardcore kind of armor going. And since Duncan gets a new set of armor and, goes by a new title, I am starting to think that maybe this is that Man o' War. Now, Allison, who we all know, Allison Troy, as a wealth of knowledge, even beyond myself in most cases, and I know Adam has quite the lore knowledge as well. There's a lot of people out there who know more than me, even though Mr. Home Arcade gave me a big shout out for knowing my stuff, and I appreciate it. So she had actually found, and I'm going to share screen here in a moment. Let me open this in a new tab here, Jay.
Sure.
So this was some concept by Axel Jimenez that had come out, and Allison shared this in our Patreon group chat earlier today.
Really quick, Oz. Holy crap! Thank you, Mr. Home Arcade. Wow, 5 Mega J Retro memberships. You are amazing. How does that work? I don't know how gifting. Like, is there actually 5 Mega J Retro members? Does he give them away? Like, how I don't really know how that works. But
Yeah.
So I've seen it done where you're able to give memberships to other people, and how cool is that?
That is
You are
Mr. Home
awesome.
Arcade is amazing. He's done that with our
Really
channel too, and it's like, wow.
that is just amazing. Thank you, Mr. Home Arcade. You are incredible, my friend. I wish he could. I invited him. I wish he could join us, but he's actually busy making people happy. So thank you, Mr. Home Arcade. Really appreciate it. Always good to see you, brother. Go. Sorry to interrupt, Oz.
Oh, not at all. Generosity like that always deserves a big shout out. Mr. Home Arcade is one of the best. So this is a character design by Axel Jimenez called Gladiator. And if you see, he does look very similar to quite a bit of what we're seeing on that white armor of that new character.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of toned down one arm, the more armored one arm, very similar club to Man at Arms. The little bit here looks a lot like that face portion, as well as you swap out the visor color here, blue for red. And even again, the arm gauntlet, quite a bit of this does look very, very similar to what we're seeing on this new character. And I also like this little tie-in here. Let's give him a rifle from like the Masters of the Universe movie, Man at Arms there. Let's see some more of that. A couple more call outs, right? Like we really need to see this kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think this is a really good indicator of where they may have gotten quite a bit of this design look for what we are seeing in the new poster here. Like, you can see quite a bit of that within this character itself, even around the helmet and everything.
100%. Adam, what are your thoughts on this character?
Yeah, I mean, I would only be able to guess. It does remind you of the Gladiator character. My guess is it's either, you know, sort of Man at Arms 2.0, that Man of War thing, maybe King Randor. I'll put my bet on Man at Arms though.
Michael?
Yeah, that's who I'm going with too. Like the mace is kind of the tell, but also like the oversized shoulder armor that Man at Arms always has. And so I think this is just another evolution of our good friend with the amazing name Duncan.
I'm leaning towards a robot. I don't know why. I just because we lost, you know, we lost Roboto, and he had a soul, man. Roboto had a soul. I don't care what anybody tells me. Roboto had a soul. He sacrificed himself for the greater good. And I'm curious. I'm curious if Duncan, you know, did his best to revive his code. You know what I mean? And now this is the result of it. It also sort of gives me an impression of, you know, the Metalhead crossover that's happening with Roboto Metalhead. That's going to be
Metal Roboto.
Metal Roboto.
Yeah, Metal Roboto. Right. I'm wondering
So
if that's
cool.
actually, you know, a nod to that in some ways. But I think we're all on the same track here. We're definitely thinking, you know, that at the very least, Man at Arms is involved somehow. Duncan is involved somehow. That, you know,
You know,
a lasting legacy.
we may not like to say his name a lot, but you know, the Voldemort of Masters of the Universe, Scott Nutlick.
I say his name all the time.
Of course, it's kind of a bad word, though.
No, it's not.
I gotta wash my mouth out after saying it.
Let's clear the air here a little bit. Let's clear the air here. I'm gonna be the bad guy here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, I don't mind doing it. I think, and I've always said this, you know, we have to give Scott the credit he's due, the actual credit that he kept Master Universe alive in so much that he took care of it. He wasn't a custodian, right? But we, in a lot of ways, yes, the Four Horsemen were there. Yes, they're the ones who pitched it to Mattel. Yes, they're the ones who actually did the hard work in terms of making all the characters and everything. But I actually believe everything, at least in terms of his stay at Mattel. I believe everything that Scott says. I believe that he did keep it alive. Like, you know, he was the one who maintained the website. He was the one who mailed everybody, or, you know, helped with those lists and everything like that. And you got to respect the man, at least for that. Everything that happens afterwards, you know, it's interpretation, you know, what the stories he tells, the things, but he's been a wealth of knowledge for a lot of us. You know what I mean?
Very true. And I love seeing those director's cuts that he was doing of all the classics figures and everything that he did with that. And I was actually just about to bring up his work on those mini comics that they kind of released to help tell the tale of classics, where eventually we did see a future proposed version of Man at Arms in Roboto's armor, or in Roboto's body. Like, he kind of uploaded the consciousness of him after he became an evil snake man, and uploaded that into a robot that was like the new Man at Arms at that time, kind of thing, or like Clamp Champ helped him, whatever the story is. I can't remember all of it. But maybe this is kind of like a little mid version of that, even in some ways. Because again, it does look much more robotic. But we've seen, you know, if you've seen those 2 minutes or so of leaked footage, we see quite a lot during that leads towards, well, they've got some pretty impressive suits of armor now that we can see.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, at the end of the day, Toy Guru is not as hated as much in the fandom as Rob David. He helped deliver us classics. The bios were horrible, but the toys were good. Thank you, Ryan. That's Ryan Ventek. Again, at the end of the day, Scott's made some outlandish claims. You know, I mean, some more definitive than others. which unfortunately he's got to live up with. He's got to live with those statements, right? Because right now, a lot of people are just happy to tell him that Master Universe is back in the stores, right? But he can easily just say, well, it's not Origins, it's again, it's this whole back and forth and idea. But if here's my take on it. If Scott would just go back to what he was doing before, go back to the lore, go back to talking about Master Universe as it was,
Yeah.
I think he'd get right back on track. But he's decided
sure.
that his channel is what it is, and that's fine. That's what it is.
We agree. Don't have to watch that. If he starts going back into the lore and everything else that he was doing before, I'll probably start watching his content again. He had access to a lot of information that a lot of other people hadn't, and released a lot of information that he helped tie up a lot of good mysteries that we didn't have as much of the facts if it weren't for him. And I give him credit for everything that he has poured into it. But yeah, just the way he does things currently, I'm not a big fan of.
Anyway, let's move on from Scott.
Yeah, let's go look more at Evelyn here.
Yeah,
right?
Evelyn. What do we think is happening with Evelyn? I mean, the last we saw, where was she? Was she in the plains of Eternia? Where was that? Like, does anybody have any insight on that? Michael?
She was walking in the fields of gold. Yeah, I think this is the redeemed version of Evelyn. And it's actually neat to see her in a different form, because I think a lot of at least from the toy perspective, she's always been Evelyn.
Right.
And so I like this aspect of her, and I hope that she is doing good, with those magical powers that she has. I love the look too. She kind of looks like elvish to me, like from like kind of Lord of the Rings.
Yes, I felt that too.
That's exactly what I was feeling.
Right? Yeah. And the episode in the Filmation series where her and Tila were actually trapped in the desert and she couldn't use her magic, that was the first I remember watching that episode. And when she took off her helmet, I literally went back. My head was like, whoa. And I was like, why is she platinum blonde? You know what I mean? Like literally. And it wasn't even platinum blonde. It was just blonde. It was just like white hair. And I was like, okay, I was not expecting that. So yeah, seeing her here in this more, how can we say, enlightened form is rather refreshing. And I really did like, out of all the characters in Master Universe Revelations, she probably is the one that was handled by a lot of people are going to say the same thing. They're saying that she was a hot mess. I don't disagree. She was a hot mess, but at the same time, her journey was interesting, at least. You know what I mean? And can she be redeemed for killing off? I mean, like, God damn, she killed a lot of people. Holy crap! And she killed a lot of people in Preternia too. Again,
she destroyed their version of heaven. Preternia, like, wiped it out completely.
So, there's a lot to take in, and maybe this is her penance, right? Maybe this to defend the Eternia to in this regard. Maybe that's what it is. But I'm not going to deny that. Yeah, she was a hot mess, like 100% a hot mess. Adam, what are your thoughts on Evelyn?
One of my favorite things from Revelation was her arc, especially in the earlier parts where she was working with Orko and Tila, and I was rooting for her. Obviously, towards the end she relapsed, way worse than she started. But yeah, I'm rooting for her to be redeemed. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her particular evolution with Orko. I thought that was so touching, and two magic users really coming to the understanding of each other, and Orko realizing that it's not Eternia, it's actually him. There were a lot of great scenes, and I still hold to this day that the true hero of Eternia is Orko the Great. The Oracle himself. I really believe that if it wasn't for him and his sacrifice, they wouldn't be where they are today. Well, Gran, I know what you're saying. I'm not going to say. I mean, yeah, and that can be taken many different ways. But what is life if you can't at least try, right? So I know what you're saying. She killed a lot of people, man. She killed a lot of people. Like it's pretty pretty crazy how that happened. But I guess we'll find out exactly where this leads in the next installment. And finally, what is this thing? Well, seriously, what? We still have a few more things to talk about, but seriously, what is this? Who is this? What are we looking at here, guys?
Battle armor Granomir.
Right. It's got to be Granomir. It's got the helmet. We got
on.
some armor on this guy. I mean, some people may not exactly like it. I know I saw a comment earlier about like, why does he got to have all this armor on and stuff like that? Like, it doesn't matter why. I mean, it looks cool, right? Like regardless of anything else, it looks badass.
Well,
and
he has a helmet in the 80s
In
cartoon, and
that's right. In the
That's actually
comics,
one
he
of
had
the
a
biggest
helmet.
features. And you got to remember, guys. Here's something. If you're a D&D player, if you're into role playing, and if you're into any sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, this is mystical armor. He doesn't wear it for no reason. Like, why? Yes, why would a freaking dragon need armor? It probably ups his status levels. I mean, his magic is probably enhanced by it. We see two orbs on both of the gauntlets. Trust me, there's a lot of mystical elements being added to this to this dragon here. Okay, and again, why was he even wearing a helmet to begin with in the frequent Filmation series? It wasn't a fashion statement, I'll tell you that. But honestly,
It was so
he looks-
dinky looking too compared to the rest of them.
he looks like, and let's not forget, even though it's a techno cult, it's mixed with magic, right? Like we know that the evil horde uses technology much the same way that magical creatures like Granomir would use magic, and you need to defend against that. So in my opinion, if this is Granomir, it's Granomir for freak sign. This is Granomir. Anyway, if it's Granomir, he's definitely got to amp him. This is a war for the center of the universe. So yeah, I truly believe that this is Granomir.
I love the takes that the animators are giving to these characters. I mean, they look amazing, but two, it's like also bringing in some of the characters from the 80s and kind of making them, I don't want to say relevant, but kind of adding to that lore and kind of how they fit into the story. So like, no matter how they evolve this dragon or what he looks like, I can't wait to see him in the series.
Adam, what's your take? Because I want to, and then I'm going to answer Ryan's question or comment here, because I do have something to say about that.
I'll just add. So you mentioned like D&D. So the name Granomir was taken. So Larry DiTilio created the character, and the name was from some kind of role playing game or something that he had written before. He was into Dungeons and Dragons, so there is that aspect to the character. Yeah, I mean, very classic fantasy. I just look forward to seeing what they do with him.
Mm-hmm. So I will address this because Ryan does bring up a pretty interesting point. He looks like a generic anime dragon with sorcerer shin pads. I do have to say, one of my favorite things about Granomir was his classic look from Filmation. I love the pot belly. I love the small little, like, dad bod arms. You know what I mean? I love the dad bod legs. I loved everything about the way. I just loved everything about him. The fact that he was so arrogant. The fact that, and it wasn't really arrogance. It was just the disdain he had for beings like human beings. He actually loved everybody else except for Skytree. I don't know, him and Skytree, they gotta fix that, man. Like something's got one of those two guys has to put forward the flag of truce. But I do agree. I sort of agree with Ryan. At the same time, I think a lot of people would like to see a battle dragon, going into battle. I think that it's what it is. You know what I mean? But I can't help but agree somewhat with Ryan. I would have loved to see the original Granomir make his appearance, and just like but again, it's just not as majestic to see something like that. He would just, or what, he did have a great battle with but that's the thing. I'm sorry, guys.
Darksmoke.
What was his name again?
It was the bluish gray dragon.
What was his name? It was Shadowfang or
yeah, maybe Shadowfang. I just watched that the other day.
Yeah, I know.
On it.
That dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
What I love that episode because you see Granomir flying. He's got these tiny little wings. They're just They're literally doing the. It's like it's literally like just literally these little tiny wings that are just flapping and you're like, God, how is those tiny little wings holding up that gigantic dragon, right? And I just love that. So Ryan, I'm on board with you, buddy. I'm on board with you. And literally, I wrote that as you were saying it. So,
Shadow Wing, that's the name.
Shadow Wing, that's right, Shadow Wing, exactly. Dad bod Grenadier is yeah, exactly. See, Ryan and I are on the same page here. Oh my gosh! And just to round this off, let's talk about the elephant in the room here. What the hell is that? Jeez Louise.
I mean,
what are we looking at here, guys? Aside from, okay, let's just do this quickly. Really quickly, the new design for Hordak, guys. What are your thoughts, really quickly?
I think he looks great. Can't wait to see him in figure form in Masterverse Wave 13.
He looks awesome. Adam.
Yeah, reminds me a lot of the DC comics that he's appeared in the last 10 years. Looks a bit like the Mondo Hordak too. Great design.
Yeah, actually, I can see it. Yeah. Oz.
I'm looking at it.
I mean, I dig it, right? Like, he's got all those classic elements that we like with a new spin on it. He always reminded me of like this vampire, and like you can definitely see those elements, elements here. He's just always been a cool character that I think they've never fully utilized. I gotta say, with that little hint at the very end of Revelation, I got pumped before we saw anything else, from this year. Just that little bit that we saw at the end had me pumped, and just everything that we've seen since. And then you're going to throw Keith David behind the voice of it.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Like, this is one of the more exciting parts of Revolution to me.
Yeah.
Keith David Hordak.
And I do have to say that I'm so happy it's not William Shatner.
Yes. Oh, thank God. I would not want him as Hordak.
It's not William Shatner. And we'll circle back to that in a second. But we already talked about Skeletor. Nate Burch's take on Skeletor, though, I think I would have really loved it if this version of Techno-Skeletor showed up in the series, because the version we got in the animation looks a little like, this is frightening. I don't know. Really, right? What are your thoughts on this version that Nate Burch put together for us?
Yeah, definitely improvement. Sorry, yeah, I just echo what you said. It's definitely improvement over the animation and especially over the toy.
Ditto.
He's gonna roll up to He-Man and he's gonna be like, "I need your battle armor, your battle axe, and your battle cap immediately."
Get the Papa. And then we come back to Motherboard. I remember when I first saw her at the very last episode of Revelations. I was like, "Yes, we're gonna get a second series." Like, I was so excited at that point. But at the same time, this dark goddess, right, type of character, I was gobsmacked. Really, I really didn't have any. And then when we found out it was Meg Foster, I was like, God, this is gonna be great, right? So, any thoughts before we move on to the elephant in the room, guys?
I just wanted to say, like, I love that they're still keeping the bird like theme with these goddess-like characters. Just looking at the helmet on her head, it's like Zoar, Screech, and there's kind of a newish bird, if you will, in Motherboard.
Yep.
So I kind of got like, when we first saw Screech and the whole techno cult thing, I was like, okay, so Screech kind of like a robot, giant bird. I get that. It's a little weird. I don't understand why Screech is Motherboard or whatever. So like when there was this transformation that happened into this, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be really cool, right? And I like what Michael's saying too, right? So we're seeing this transformation with Tila, right, going to this full green goddess and embracing this snake. So we can still use all this same imagery of a falcon versus the snake, because now the falcon's the technology and the snake is the mysticism portion of it. So like, it's kind of cool how, although things have switched around now, maybe the snake's not so much the bad guy anymore. Now it's the good guy, which is plus for me because I love my reptiles, love my snakes. But now the Falcon imagery is on the bad guy side, so that's kind of a pretty cool dynamic to keep. Just turn it on its head.
Yeah, I feel much the same way. Adam, do you have any thoughts on
I was just gonna say, oh, I love that they did Screech, but Oz had some great thoughts. I like, yeah, that reversal between Bird and the Snake. But yeah, that's a great kind of turning everything on its head. Love it.
Absolutely. I was just enamored by her from the very beginning, and the fact that she transformed from Screech to Motherboard, I was just again gobsmacked. Nuno Biz says something interesting. I didn't even notice this. There is something wrong. There is something different about the sword. It's a very small difference, but you can see it. There's a segmentation right at the top. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but there is something going on there. I'm not sure if that's definitely not in the original Sword of Power, but there is something else happening there. I'm wondering if it's a leftover from the union of the two swords after they got split into Preternia. But either that, or we're just reading too much into it. But what do you guys think? Is that significant, or is it just a little detail that we never noticed before?
Well, I mean, let's kind of put it out there like it is, right? You can pull a lot of things from the different lore that we've seen before, okay? Uh, one of which in the 2000X Mike Young productions, right? The whole reason He-Man had such a different looking sword is their original idea is that Skeletor finally won. He had the two halves of the power sword. That's why his sword split in two. And He-Man was supposed to get like a new technological magical sword, which would explain all those new abilities and everything else. It was originally a whole different thing. If you've ever had the DVDs, you can go back and read or hear and listen to the commentary where they explain all of that. Well, one big thing that we haven't seen from this that we know is coming up because of a little toy 2-pack, Geldor shows up in Revolution, right? What's Geldor known for? Eventing, engineering, right? Like, he is the science version of Orko, even though he was only around really in the movie and like one mini comic that kind of tied the movie into that. So we've all noticed already there are quite a lot of scenes without He-Man and his sword. Throwing the speculation out there. What happens? Something happens to the sword, right? We've already heard that they're looking for this new power to help battle against Hordak and the Horde. So, what's to say Geldor doesn't have that cosmic key to access this new power and unlock new things with the power sword? Maybe that's a little bit of what we see here with that slight difference.
Perhaps it is. Michael, Adam. Is it just a thing? Because it can just be a thing.
I mean, it could just be a design choice by Nate. Could be something, like the repair on the power sword. To me, there's just not enough to really say one way or another yet.
You gonna go with that, Michael?
Yeah, I'm just enamored with how Oz broke it down, so I'm just letting that simmer a bit. So yeah.
All right, then let's move into the elephant. What the heck is going on with Grayskull? Holy crap! This is scaring the hell out of me, and it leads us back to the idea: has the Council of Eternia, right? The real power of Eternia, is it under the Horde's control now? Like, what are we looking at here? This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's elements of the Horde, but you also have elements of Motherboard kind of coming up from the ground too.
Yeah,
so it's a mixture of both things.
Yeah, it's a scary proposition, and I wonder if this is the real power that they're trying to, and why the dragons have been tasked to aid in their struggle, because they've lost much of their what they need to fight, right? So I don't know, Adam, do you have any insights on this? Like, is there any like precedence on this from the original books?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not aware of any precedents, from the vintage material for this. I mean, it seems very clear that you've got this Horde and Motherboard takeover of the castle, the power behind the castle. I'm just kind of in awe of the artwork here. I love the creepiness. It's just you don't normally I don't like illustrations that mess too much with the classic sort of Castle Grayskull design, but this is the shape, the classic shape is there, but it's just been turned on its head with this horde thing. And it's so creepy. I love it.
Yeah. Oz, thoughts?
Well, again, earlier when I was looking at this, I didn't notice it as much. And then later after work, when I was really getting to take a look at everything, I was like, holy crap, the Horde got Grayskull. Now, one of the great things that I've liked with Revelation was that sometimes the good guys don't always win, right? Like Adam dies in Revelation, and so the good guys didn't win, right?
Spoiler!
Everybody's had time to see it. What are you doing watching this if you haven't watched the first thing? And then, like with that, later on in the same series, right? Finally, we bring Adam back and He-Man's back, but then what happens, right? Skeletor gets the power sword. Skeletor takes over Grayskull. Now Skeletor's in charge. So we've seen kind of what can happen when Grayskull falls to the dark side, falls into the hands of evil. Well, this is beyond it just falling into the hands of evil. Like, there is a full evil transformation going on here. The techno-virus, the techno-cult and their little infectious virus that they're doing here has fully infected. It's smoothed out those rocky exterior towers. Now they're like looking like computer servers, like you're ready to hack Xbox Live or something. They've got spikes popping out of like the sides and everything. You've got the giant bat wings coming out the back. There's supposed to be a turret up there. Instead, there's a giant bat. And I mean, this is not something I expected to see whatsoever. And Joe G, he's got a Castle Horde skull right here. I mean, this is nuts. I did not expect this at all with everything we were leading up to.
Yeah. Nolan's right. I want this as well, but first I want my Castle Grayskull. That's the first, because I missed out.
Can we get a normal one first?
I want to, because I need at least a substitute for a classic Castle Grayskull, because I've been searching so hard and I just can't afford the damn thing. That's just the truth.
Already got the molds, Mattel. Just reissue it and slap Masterverse on the box. We'll take it.
I would definitely love this castle. I would definitely be like, if this is a crowdfund project, I would definitely be crowdfunding this 100%.
Right. Why are we getting Origins play sets as crowdfunds? Yeah. Masterverse Castle Grayskull needs to be the crowdfund. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm going to touch on this really quickly because Grand 460, he's been trying to make a point, I guess, but I understand where you're coming from, Gran. I know what you're saying. She did heinous things, right? She killed millions of people, and of course, she destroyed Preternia, right? But short of summary execution or whatever it is, the decision was made in the series, right? The sorceress decided to show her a different path, and now she's gone off to the wilderness to redeem herself and maybe come back and help with the final fight. And at the end of the day, it's a cartoon, it's a story, right? And I know it's you have a very different outlook on that, and you know what, my heart goes out to you. It really does. And I hope that whatever happened in that case is that's something that none of us can ever really truly understand. And I appreciate that you did say here that you're not trying to make a problem. I get it. It obviously hit a nerve with you. And again, we're just discussing a cartoon right now, and in a lot of ways we are taking the activities of what happened in that episode lightly. But again, cartoons, anime, they deal with some dark stuff sometimes. Really, really dark stuff. And if we were to look at this in the darkest of ways, sometimes it's hard to come back from that. And I know, again, fully understand you've been through a lot, and our heart goes out to you. And again, it's all I can say, and I hate to say it this way because it's not dismissive, but sometimes it's not for everybody. But again, my heart goes out to you, brother. Hopefully the healing is there, and everything, whatever happens to that person, it happens, right? And I hope that everything resolves itself the way it should. My best to you. But moving on from there, I'm just really excited for this upcoming series. January 25th, guys. This is going to be huge on Netflix. I did see an earlier comment. Unfortunately, Addy Boy does not have Netflix. But Addy Boy, trust me, there are ways to see this. There will be ways.
Shame. I know Addy Boy. He has a booth at the Alameda Point Antique Fair. I just actually saw him a couple days ago. So.
Yeah, he's a great creator too, guys. You should definitely check out Addy Boy's channel. He's been a great support of the channel, and again, it's too bad, but you know what? As I said, there are ways, Addy Boy. You can beg, borrow, steal. There's ways to see this. Somebody's gonna post it somewhere. I have no doubts.
Eddie Boy, Michael, hit me up in my DMs. Hit me up.
Michael, how are you doing for time? Are you okay or?
I'm okay. I'm probably gonna pop off in soon, but
sure,
I don't know how long.
I just wanted to be sensitive to the time. But I did want to say huge thanks to Michael from Toy Habits, Oz for being here tonight. Adam, thank you so much for being here, all on short notice, because that's the way Mega J Retro rolls. I just I throw out the invite, and it's like, yeah, okay, sure. And then if nobody shows up, I just do it myself. But that's okay. And I really appreciate it. All the support, guys. Thank you so much again. But I will take the opportunity to say, Michael, what are you working on, and how can people find you, my friend?
Well, I guess you can find us doing our weekly live stream with my partner in crime, the Toy Sorceress, on YouTube at toyhabits_com, and on Instagram at Toy Habits website, and on toyhabits.com, where we spend most of our time just trying to dig up anything we can to help the toy community. So that's where you can find myself and the Toy Sorceress.
And unfortunately, Toy Sorceress could not be here tonight, but she's busy setting up her castle. It's amazing. We will see her hopefully in the future episodes. Of course, we will. Oz, how can people reach you, and what are you working on, my friend?
Well, it's easiest to reach me on Instagram at Ostradamus Toys. So you can definitely find me there, as well as you can catch me every Saturday night live on Ostradamus Toys YouTube channel. We do mega long marathon streams with tons of people, and you never know who's going to pop up. As well as you can catch myself and one other person on this panel tomorrow night over on Skelevator's channel, where we'll be doing our show Toy Frenzy, and we'll be delving into this same topic again tomorrow. So if you want to revisit some of these thoughts from tonight, or even hear some new ones, as we'll be joined by other co-hosts as well, come check us out tomorrow night. 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Excellent. And Adam, how can people reach you, and what are you working on, my friend?
Yeah, so my site is battleramblog.com. I probably easiest to reach me on Instagram as well, username battleramblog. So most recently, I did an article on some of Mark Taylor's sort of design language. I've also got for Patreon supporters, I've got an article on Gigantosaur up, and that'll go out to everybody next week. So that's what I'm working on, and then tomorrow I'll be on with Oz, like he said, talking about the same subject, hopefully with a different spin.
See, now I feel bad. It's like I snatched both of you guys and had an early visit in this. But guys, this discussion is riveting. But don't forget, and this is very important, tomorrow, the brand new trailer for Master Universe Revolution is dropping. So these guys are going to be talking about that, and they are going to have huge insights. They're probably going to get some of those juicy tidbits. We're going to see more little teases and reveals. Maybe even William Shatner will be revealed as what voice he's actually going to be voicing. Before we log off, everybody, what does everybody who is William Shatner going to be voicing? Let's go ahead and guys in the chat. Why don't you guys go ahead and tell us who do you think William Shatner is going to be voicing in the series? While we discuss this really quickly, I have my personal favorites. I would be so sad because it really would break my heart if he took the voice of Geldor. I would literally be crawling into a corner and crying. He cannot take Geldor. He cannot take Geldor from me. No, he cannot take Geldor because he won't do a good Geldor. He just won't. His stature, his overall presence does not equate for that. That's me. I don't know if everybody else, but Oz, who do you think? What do you think with the Shatner? Who do you think the Shatner is going to take over in the MOTU universe?
I think he's going to come on as himself, but under his stage moniker when he was doing his rap tour, and he's going to come out as Billy Shat.
Adam, any thoughts? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna do what he should be. He should be Manny Faces because Manny Faces is an actor. He could do like a very cheesy, actor kind of performance to it. I think that'd be great.
All right, so we have so Oz has declined to answer. Adam says it's Manny Faces, which I love. I love that idea. Of course, Manny Faces being my favorite Master Universe character. I could definitely see that, though. I see exactly where you're coming from. The hammy actor that is Manny Faces. I love that idea. Now, I didn't think about that. But Michael, what are your thoughts for the Shatner? Who is the Shatner going to be playing?
Well, I wasn't going to say, but I did see some comments fly by just based on the hush hush figure that Mattel is keeping under wraps as the hidden figure for this next wave. I think it's probably going to be King Geldor or Geldor of some sort.
Exactly. And for me, I'm with Kenzo. I want him to be a hammy, so totally over the top Granamir. I want him to just when Tila comes in to beg for help, I just want him to be as Shakespearean as possible. Basically just all the pauses, all the drawl, everything that you can imagine that comes out of Shatner. You know what I mean? Just the speeches. The whole idea that he is greater than every human being out there, which of course is so much Shatner. I think that would be excellent. But time will tell, and we'll find out. A lot of people commenting. Vexen Toy says Geldor for sure. So, Michael, you got another one there. Ryan Lay, I think Shatner will be Geldor. No, goddammit, no. Kenzo's creation, Granamir, yes. Joe
Gonzalez, that was my second pick, was Granamir for Shatner.
Right.
Yeah. Joe Gonzalez, new character, Kirkor.
Standor, right? Stan Lee is the,
Yes.
Yeah.
Nuno Biz, Manny Faces the actor? Yes, Manny Faces the actor, correct. Jason Fitz, King Geldor. Wow, there's a lot of King Geldors in here. Chef M80, toss up between Geldor, Geldor, or Granamir. Damn it, Chef. Basically no choice at all. Vex and Toys, I will tell you as a matter of fact, it's Geldor. You know what, Vex? We will find out, my friend. We will find out come possibly tomorrow or possibly during the next round. Okay, so James, Oracle, we must reforge the sword and save the universe. William Shatner as Geldor. God damn it.
You got to do the pauses. Orko. We must reforge the sword and save the universe.
All right, let's try this. Orko, we must reforge the sword and save the universe. Oh God, no.
There you go.
No.
There it is. There it is.
No. Oz is gonna be He-Man. Oz is gonna be Manny. Didn't he tell you? Oz, you're gonna be Manny?
I was trying to keep it under wraps, but cat's out of the bag. Also, in the new live action movie, I'm gonna be Fisto.
Oh, you're gonna give the big fist. I'm gonna
fist him. Wait.
Oh my gosh. Vex and Toys. Geldor was a secret. Shatner was a secret. I agree with the Manny Faces, but it's not it. Well, Vex, we shall find out. You never know. Addy Boy, I feel Captain Kirk has to be someone wise and silly. Granamir. Granamir, but then that also describes Geldor. God damn it. War chest full of toys. I hope whatever he does, it's open mic poetry style. Like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. It's got to be. Hopefully he'll sing a song too. Shatner might be Stinkor. Nope, that role has already been taken.
Yep, Stinkor was already done with Jason Mewes, and I gotta say he's got one of the best MOTU lines ever. Get off my hands away from my merch, you. No, can't even do the line anymore.
You can say it.
Hands off the merch, you dirty merc.
Kenzo's Creations. Michael, your shirt freaking rocks.
Yeah.
PowerCon 2021.
Sweet. Yeah, I think we're Kenzo again. He will come as fearless full tall. Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that would be great. Right?
That would be awesome. Vex and Toys. Kevin Smith is thinking Geek, Luke, and Kirk together as one. Oh, you know what? I could definitely see that coming for sure. Eldor is in the house. What's going on? Master Versatile Hunter. Mechaneck, maybe. Ooh, there's one I didn't consider. Mechaneck.
That'd be interesting.
Thematically, I don't know. Thematically, I just can't see it. There doesn't seem to be any. He's such a, not that he's a minor character, one of my favorite characters too, but I just can't see it. I can't see any reason why to give him the Mechaneck role. It just doesn't seem. He's not full of himself enough. He's not full of himself. Oh, he's going to be the Mighty Spectre. Yes, he will be the Mighty Spectre. Absolutely.
There we go.
We've solved it. Ryan Ventek has solved the puzzle. Willie Shatner will be the Mighty Spectre. Absolutely. It matches so well. Nunya Biz, still one of the most secret veterans to be announced too. Yes, for sure. Chef Hamidi, Shatner will be a super secret character. The role is born to play Calculon.
Calculon
from
Futurama.
Yeah, yes. I was like, hey, is that Calcul? I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what the hell is he writing there? That's crazy. John Guzman. Randor will die and Skeletor will become good and become King Geldor. If that's a prediction, we shall find out. Do anybody want to put money on that? Anyone want to put money on that? Don't do it here.
Wouldn't Prince Adam have to die too for Geldor to succeed the throne?
Not if he kills. This is true. This is absolutely true. Lisa Roberts. Kevin Smith is still writing this season. I don't think he wrote a few episodes, but I think he directed more than he wrote.
He was directing. He wasn't actually writing. He had other writers do
it. His writers did a lot of the stuff. It's John. Emerald Night Photo. Good to see you, John. What's going on, brother? Love that artwork in Adam's room. Who doesn't love the artwork in Adam's room? Look at all that.
Can we give John a big shout out to him and several of his toy photography fans from Instagram? If you guys aren't already following Geeked Out Click on Instagram, they have just started a YouTube channel under the same name, underscores between each. And they're definitely going to be starting to go live pretty soon and do a weekly show. So definitely check those guys out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100%. Guys, definitely check out Emerald Night Photo on Instagram as well. And of course, their United, it is an Instagram account, right?
Right.
Their United Instagram account. What is it again?
Geeked Out Click.
Geeked Out Click. Perfect. Silver Tiamat, these are gonna be the last comments before we wind down, everybody. Randor will get killed and the throne will be usurped. You know what? The first poster really does indicate there's something going to happen with the throne. So we shall see how that goes. Kenzo's Creations, thinking about the fact that we couldn't get King Geldor. Get the Geldor early. Shat. You made me say Shat on
Everyone was thinking
it's Billy Shat.
Shatner. You gotta put
Billy Shat.
At least give me God damn it. It has to be Geldor. Okay, fine. Damn you, Kenzo. Giraffe. The Avengers will combine with the Hobbits and save the Masters from the giant walrus. Giraffe, you got a great story. Keep going. Keep going. Make that a thing, my friend. James Serapio, thanks for the great discussion. Jay, Oz, Mike, and Adam, cheers. Cheers to you, my friend. Always good to see James in the chat. Kenzo's laughing his butt off. God damn it, Kenzo. Nolan, great show, guys. Take care. Good journey and geek proud. You too, my friend. Vex and Toy. Skeletor has a crown. Then we get King Geldor. This is going to be interesting. I am not saying that again, you bastard. 1/10. I hope we see a copycat. I hope we see a duplicate. If that's what you're trying to say, yes.
Coming to Mondo.
I hope we see a duplicate. Oh, yeah, that's going to be crazy. And last night, I don't know if anybody caught our stream last night. Some crazy news was either confirmed or they're spreading vicious lies over at Mondo. But apparently, something that starts with a T and C in the name is going to be coming to Mondo Creations. Very excited about that. It's called Thundercats, guys. So very excited about that. Huge cat out of the bag moment there. Like I was shocked when that one came out of nowhere. So we're gonna get more poor throughout the rest of the year. So just hold on, get ready, everybody.
Get more poor.
Get ready. Get ready. Charles Shadid, all hail the Lord of Destruction. He shall return. Yes, he shall return. Cora Burlett, bye for now. Great show. Thank you so much, my friend. T'Challa, no, it's not going to be T'Challa. War Chest full of toys. Yep, we tell them all, Jay. Absolutely. TC 1/6 kill Snarf. Yes, in less words than not. Yes, it's going to be about the same stories as Orko. Guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. It's been an absolutely magical evening. Holy crap! January 25th can't come in too soon. What are we at, guys? Like 15 days?
15 days, and we're counting it down.
Days. We're counting this down. I want to thank all my special guests for being here tonight. Michael from Toy Habits, guys, definitely give toyhabits.com a like and a follow. Check out their YouTube page. Always a great run whenever these guys are involved. And Michael didn't even type tonight. It's awesome. So great stuff. We got
my attention the whole time.
Toy Source is handling all that stuff. So
yes.
She Michael had the day off. She's doing the hard work. Oz Tremendous Toys, guys, definitely check out Oz tomorrow for their live stream because he's being joined by Adam of Battleground Blog, and they're going to dissect every little morsel they can from this trailer that's going to drop tomorrow. Guys, we are in for a huge treat. I wanted to share this moment because I'm not going to be able to do a live stream tomorrow, so thank you guys for coming on board. It's just been an absolute pleasure. Happy New Year to everybody. I know we're already 10 days in, but it feels like yesterday. Toy news just doesn't stop, everybody. Michael, Oz, Adam, any last words for the chat before we log off? Michael?
No, I'm just happy to be doing this again with Adam, Oz, and yourself. It's been too long. So
yes, indeed. Oz?
It is always an honor to be here on the channel, Jay. I appreciate the invite, and thank you all for showing up in the chat and joining in on the conversation. Michael, Adam, always great to have your insights as well here, and it's definitely got my head spinning about all kinds of different things. So, Jay, thank you for doing this live stream tonight. It's definitely great to get out and start getting the conversation flowing so we can keep it rolling.
Absolutely, my friend. And Adam, any last words before we log off?
It's an honor to be asked to join. So thanks for the invite. Great.
What are you talking about? It's an honor to have you. It's an honor to have you here, my friend. Honestly, the guys definitely check out Battleground Blog. It's a wonderful website. A huge resource of information. Michael, myself, Oz, we gleam off of it every day. So thank you so much for all the information, Adam. And if I can say, after He-Man.org, has gone the way of the dodo, there aren't that many places that we can rely on for reliable information on the Master Universe. So, guys, check out Battleground Blog, and of course, check out Adam on Instagram at Battle. Adam, say it yourself.
Battleground Blog.
There you go. I'm twist-tied totally from here, guys. Thank you so much for tonight. Let's get ready for 15 days. We're going to see the first episode of Master Universe Revolution. Is it a weekly thing, or is it going to be the whole board? Like, how are they going to handle this?
I don't think they've said. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be the usual. Let's drop everything so you lose about like 2.5 hours of your life.
I'm going to take it one day at a time, guys. Thank you again for being here tonight. Don't forget, January 20th, 5 days before the premiere, we will be giving away a ton of toys for you guys. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you guys will definitely be able to get in on that. Again, huge thanks to all my patrons and channel member supporters. You get one extra ballot. Thank you so much. And of course, you know what? Head over to toyhabits.com. Give him a like and a follow. Head over to Battleground Blog on Instagram. Give him a like and a follow. Head over to Oz Tremendous Toys on YouTube. Give them a like and a follow. Use the hashtag Mega Jiggy Retro Giveaway 2024. Let's go. and you will get an extra ballot by subscribing and liking to each one of these channels. It's just another way that I want everybody here to experience brand new channels if you haven't already. But of course you have. You're all subscribed to all these guys. I know it. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Good journey. Geek
Good
proud.
journey.
Good journey.